My good friends over at Two Notes Audio Engineering were kind enough to send over their new Steve Stevens Platinum Collection DynIR release, which was released, I believe, last Thursday. So I finally had a chance to load it up. I really haven't had a chance to dig into it other than to just see if they were there, load them up to make sure they were recording properly for this video. But I wanted to do a quick first look and run through with you guys and let you hear what's going on. From the tiny little bit that I have heard of them in setting up my DAW to record this video, I must say this might be one of the most impressive releases that the folks at Two Notes Audio Engineering may have ever put out. And no surprise when they have an icon like Steve Stevens involved. So what exactly is it? Well, let's do this. Let's go over, check out what is actually included with this package, and then we'll get to the good stuff where we actually hear what these sound like. For today's video, I am going to be playing through my Rev Generator 100R amplifier through the built-in Torpedo remote software, and I'm only going to be using cabs from this Steve Stevens collection so you can hear what they sound like. We'll see what mics are included and how we can move those around and see what the array of tones are that we can get from this new package. So first things first, let's head over to the Two Notes website, and you'll notice here that they have the Steve Stevens Platinum Collection. It says 5 exclusive captures from Steve's personal collection captured at Studio 606. They give a little quick rundown about Steve here. I don't think Steve needs any introduction to most people. Was Billy Idol's longtime collaborator, guitarist, co-writer of super hits, like it says here, Rebel Yell, Eyes with a Face, Flash for Fantasy. He's played with Michael Jackson. He played the Top Gun anthem, Grammy Award-winning performance, played with Vince Neil. Just an incredible resume that Steve has. They recorded at Studio 606 in the San Fernando Valley, recorded through the legendary Neve 8028 recording console there. So wonderful studio to record this in. And we can kind of see here an overview of what we have. It says, as we mentioned, Studio 606, the important cabinets. Okay, 5 hand-picked 412s from Steve's personal collection. The iconic Scumbag Purple Ray Gun cabinet. V30 loaded 1971 Marshall basket weave 412 cabinet, complete with Jim Marshall's hand-drawn signature. V30 equipped 1980s Marshall 412 cab that graced the seminal Top Gun anthem and Michael Jackson's Dirty Diana. So that's extremely cool that the actual cab that was used on those classic recordings is included in this. If we go all the way down to the bottom, here's the Platinum Collection cabs. We can click on each one, and it brings up more information about each. The microphones that were used, we can look at that when we take a look, though. This is the Brit 71 Signature 412 vintage Marshall basket weave cab. We'll take a look and listen at that. This is the Stevens Brit 80 Ace 412, and this is the cabinet that was used on the Top Gun anthem and Michael Jackson's Dirty Diana. And lest we forget, Steve Vais Edom and Smile Sonics. I was not aware of that. I guess maybe Steve used this on some of the tracks on there. Very, very cool. I'm going to be very interested to hear that. And we've got Steve's vintage late 70s straight Marshall cab outfitted with Celestion G12M blackback drivers. And the Stevens Purple Ray Gun, Steve's iconic Scumbag Purple Ray Gun cabinet outfitted with a quartet of David Laboga Mamzer 30 drivers. Not a cabinet that I'm familiar with, but this is going to be very cool to check out. And lastly, something a little different, the Stevens Silver Sonic, captured from Steve's vintage Sears Silvertone 212, outfitted with original Jensen C12 drivers. So that's going to probably be a little bit of a different sounding cab compared to the other ones that were included inside of this package. It says the capture was made on a 212 open back cabinet loaded with Jensen 12-inch C12Q speakers. Very cool addition to this package. All right, well, that brings us over to the Torpedo remote software. I do have a tiny little bit of reverb on, as I like to do that when recording direct. I mean, obviously, if we don't, it's going to be extremely dry. It's not even going to have the normal little bit of ambience we would get on a mic'd cab in a room. So the Torpedo remote software gives us that ability to add it. But I'm not going to add any other EQ and whatnot, or enhancement, or twin track, or any of that stuff. We want to take a look and see how these actually sound without any extra processing. First of all, if I go to my pull down menu, some of these may be slightly off screen. I'm sorry about that. It's the way my screen capture software works. We have the 212 Stevens Silver Sonic we talked about, and then we have these 412 cabinets in this collection. We're going to start off at the top of the 412 list here with the Brit 71. We'll take a look at the microphones that the folks at Two Notes decided on. We have a really cool selection. This is one of the things I was most excited about, especially seeing that there was a Ribbon 4038, which is the Coles 4038 mic, a very big, boomy sounding mic, but in a really cool way. And if we place that right, mix it with a dynamic or condenser mic, it can sound really great. But they've also got all the other usual subjects, a Sennheiser 421, a Royer 121, Shure SM57, Shure SM7B, some Neumann's AKG mics. So we've got a lot of great tools to work with. So let's just go on axis, distance 0. Now over on my Rev amp, I'm on channel 3 on the lowest aggression setting. I have the gain at around half. All the tone stacks basically around 12 o'clock and the masters around 12 o'clock. And this is what it sounds like with the dynamic 421 on this cab, on axis, distance right up against the grill, and we'll move that around a bit. But we'll take a listen to what all the different mics sound like at this position first. And this is only one mic. Maybe later we'll try to blend a couple. So not too bad. Let's scroll through the mics. We'll go to the Ribbon 121, probably going to be a lot darker, bigger sounding. Just so you hear what the sounds like without the reverb. So I don't have a ton on there, just to make it so it's not quite so dry. Let's move on the Dynamic 57 mic. Moving on to the Ribbon 4038. So this is the Coles 4038. Listen to how big this is probably going to sound. It's a big woofy bottom end on it. Just like that, it would probably need something else mixed with it or that mic moved around. But I love what characteristic that mic has. I always have loved that microphone. The Shure SM7B, same mic as I'm talking into right now. Moving on from that, we'll go to the condenser Tube 67. And we'll move on to the condenser B414 and AKG 414 mic. And moving on to the final condenser FET 47. Okay, so a lot of different sonic characters available just with these microphones. Let's do this. I'm going to try putting the Ribbon 4038 in here and get that moving around with the axis and distance control, dial it a little bit better, and then I'll mix it with another mic. And we'll get kind of a bass sound together that works really well, and then we'll switch through some of the other cabinets with those same settings just to kind of see what the different characteristics of the cabs are. Okay, so let's leave that there for now. We're going to unmute mic B, and we're going to mix in, let's start off with the dynamic 7B, which is the Shure SM7B. See what that sounds like. And let's pull back the 4038 a bit, boost the dynamic up. You can also try blending it with some other dynamic mics. The dynamic 421 is another favorite of mine. '57's never really my go-to, but we'll try it out. Not too bad. Blend that with maybe the Tube 67. That's actually kind of nice. We could bring that ribbon back in more. Not bad. Just trying out a few different combinations. That combination is going to be pretty dark. But also nice and smooth. We can really see how flexible this is and how many different tones we can eke out of this just by playing around with the distance of the mics, the axis, and combinations of different mics. That's kind of nice, but maybe a little too smooth and creamy. Let's go with the 421 was kind of cool. Kind of bring in a little bit more of the 4038. Kind of like that. What if we swap that out for 121? We lose kind of some of that big beefy bottom on it. As a reminder, this is what just the Ribbon 4038 sounds like. And this is what just the Dynamic 421 sounds like. So that's what we have. So now let's see how those same settings compare to some of the other cabs. And the reason I like to do this is just to get the different characters of the cabs. Once we hear this particular miking setup in this little virtual room, we kind of have an idea on this cab what it sounds like, and we can then switch out to hear a little clearer what the sonic characters that the cab is bringing without any of these other things being altered. So here is another look at the Brit 71 412. Okay, we'll move on down to the next 412 in the list, which is the Brit 80 Ace 412. And again, keep in mind, this was the cab used on Steve Vai's Eat 'Em and Smile, Michael Jackson's Dirty Diana, and the Top Gun anthem. So this is kind of a cool one to have in here. Okay, let's move on to the next cab in the list. We have the Brit Malibus 412. Moving on to our next cab, which is the Purple Raygun 412. Amazing how different the sonic character is on this. This one will seem to cut a lot more with all those same settings. So we can really hear the difference in sonic character between all those 412 cabinets with these same settings. And again, all of these cabs, we're still going to have these different microphone selections that, as I've already shown by blending them and different combinations of them, there's endless sonic possibilities here, but also a beautiful core set of cabs with their own really interesting sonic character. Now there is the one more Silver Sonic 212 cab. This is the one with Jensen speakers. It's going to sound very different. Probably really wouldn't use it with this type of a tone. So I dialed in channel 2 a little different on the rev generator to get something that might work a little bit better with this. Same mic settings as I had. I mean, I don't know if this is really going to be the best, because we should probably play around with those as well, but just to see what this sounds like. If I was to just instinctively try something here, I might go to Ribbon 121. couple little pickup changes there, but we can see another beautiful sonic texture that they've added in here. And I think a really smart move to add in this 212 cab with Jensen speakers to just give a completely different sonic capability to this package. So there you have it, the new Steve Stevens Platinum Collection from the really fine folks over at Two Notes Audio Engineering. Hats off to Steve, hats off to the folks over at Two Notes. I think they did a fabulous job. I love the mic selection, and I love the tones that we're able to dial in with this collection. If you are a Two Notes user, or even if you're not, you might want to look into becoming one. They have some beautiful offerings that can work with your modeler of choice or any amp heads as well that you want to be able to play live and to be able to use any of their amazing DynIR packages on. And they have a lot of them. This has really become one of my favorites after this little quick look at them, and I'm sure I'll be using this in some future demos as well. So thank you guys so much for sending it over for me to look at, and I hope you guys enjoyed that look at it. Please like the video, share it with anybody who you think would get some enjoyment out of watching it, and also please subscribe to my channel and hit the little bell notification to get notified when I put new content. I'll be back with some more content really soon. Thank you guys again for sharing your time with me. Ciao for now.